Chad, I enjoy learning and I love studying the brain. I love seeing why people do what they do. Um, we've talked about a lot of different, fear versus greed and things like that on the channel. But I have a story that really, I think, illustrates the dopamine um, the the greed that really takes people over when things are looking good, feeling good, and maybe shouldn't be. The example is, an asset class, Bitcoin, started just shooting up, shooting up, shooting up. And it hit about 42. And you have no idea how many phone calls I got, how many people say, time to buy, time to buy, time to buy. And I think for futuristic, it doesn't matter if you pay that, but you have to understand that it has 50% corrections throughout its history. That's a normal thing for it. But people wanted it because it was going up, 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 up. Now crashing down to a good correction and trading at 32. If you liked it at 42, you should really like it at 32.
That's right.
But do you know what's happening? I'm getting all these phone calls. Time to sell? Time to sell? Daniel, time to sell? Should I get rid of it? Is it going to zero? And this is investor psychology. When things go up, they become more risky unless something about the fundamentals has gone through the roof. And when they're cheaper, as long as nothing has changed negatively about the fundamentals, they become more valuable. They become a better investment. I'm Daniel Adjemi.
And I'm Andrew Adjemi. You're listening to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Adjemi. Welcome back. We're talking today about investing with a crystal ball or by contract. And so that's a great example, Daniel, in regard to what people do. And they think that, though, when it drops, it's, they're questioning themselves and the emotional stuff kicks in to be able to they have a difficult time holding the course to be able to actually make the return. And, they've done studies on investor psychology like this. And the whole aspect about investing is buy low, sell high, right? That's the whole idea behind business, right? Walmart buys for cheaper and they sell it for more. Gas stations do, restaurants do, all these things, right? But what they found is that the retail investors' methodology to investing is buy high, sell low, because of the emotional aspect behind that. That's why we want you and our listening audience to be able to understand these things. That's why we have Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Adjemi, because people don't know what people don't know. So we want you to understand, to be able to, maybe you need to advise your advisor, or you can at least understand what your advisor is saying, or maybe you're a do-it-yourselfer. You need to understand these things to be able to make decisions, good, sound financial decisions, smart decisions that can move you in the right direction, as opposed to just making decisions, just happenstance, or because of procrastination, or whatever the case may be. When there's a lot of people doing that out there. So when we're talking about these things today, and we've already talked about that, we've been talking about kind of the idea of investing with a crystal ball, investing in aggressive, investing in the stock market, investing with hope. And hope is not a retirement plan. What is a retirement plan is purpose-based investing for income, investing in a way that you can get dividends and interest to be able to make sure that you're getting money. Even if the value of that comes down, you're still getting the money that you need to be able to live in retirement. And that's what this segment, we'd like to talk about, that kind of money. But we call that purpose money, investing for purpose to be able to get interest and dividends to last the rest of your life.
Yeah, and that's such a great way of investing. You don't need the crystal ball, because when you invest by contract, you know what you're going to receive. Now, some contracts you can go for guarantees. Some people like the promises, but either way, you know what you're going to get. And so, for an example, you have $1 million and you decide, hey, I want to turn this into income. I want to get as much income out of this as possible. I, you know, I think that things are crazy valuations. And so, what I want to do is I want to set myself up for income so I can maintain the lifestyle that I enjoy throughout my retirement and not have to worry about getting things too early or using the crystal ball, right?
Right.
Um, the stock market from 2000, it didn't get back to where it was the same valuation to 2013. So 13 years of nothing. Now, if you could collect some nice dividends and interest in that time frame, you wouldn't have to change your lifestyle. Instead of either dollar loss averaging and losing money by taking money out over that period where markets hadn't come back. So $1 million, if you after fees can generate a 5% return, that's $50,000 a year. Okay. $50,000 a year. Now, why is that so good? Well, you can reinvest that $50,000 if you'd like to. You can spend that $50,000. And if you spend the $50,000 of dividends and interest and the assets stay the same, how much money do you have?
50,000. You still have the same amount of money. You got the
You still
million
got
dollars.
$1 million.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah. Nothing.
That's how you have the lifestyle that you want to have. And it gives you the confidence that you can still do those things you like doing in retirement. But then the other side is it gives you the ability when things go on sale, like we just talked about. If you like the
Yeah.
thing and it comes down in value, it's time to buy more of it.
Right.
And so if you're invested and you don't have any money, how are you going to buy more of it? That's what
Right.
happens when people retire is they don't collect a retirement paycheck any longer. They don't go to work and get money coming in. So where's the money come from to buy the thing that you like when it went down?
Right.
Well, when your account is generating this income, you can decide, hey, let me take that $50,000 and invest it in X, this thing that I really like. You still are generating the income, but now you have that upside potential as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you don't need the income, you can reinvest it to be able to make you more money and get more income from that. Well, you're listening to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Adjmi. Today's topic is investing with a crystal ball or by contract. Hey, we have a companion piece to go along with today's show called The Importance of Financial Defense. And you can have that piece by calling 800-725-7616. It's free. It's no obligation. Just call us at 800-725-7616 to request your copy. Just call it Financial Defense. Ask it for it by name, Financial Defense. Daniel, when we're talking about these things, with what you were just speaking about in regard to that income coming in, that purpose-based investing, what I like to refer it to is kind of like the chicken and the eggs, or let's call it golden goose that's laying golden eggs. Anybody want a golden goose that's going to lay golden eggs? I do, right? Well, that's what we're talking about, right? And if you kill the golden goose, if you're hungry and you kill the golden goose because you want to eat, well, now you got a problem. You're not getting any more eggs. But as long as you keep that golden goose and you get a golden egg and you go and you buy some food with that egg, well, then you're good, right? And so that's what we're talking about here. And then eventually, if you live in your retirement with those golden eggs, and then eventually, you're able to give that golden goose to your kids or to whomever you want to after you're done with it, to be able to continue to go to where they can either eat the goose or they can continue to get the golden eggs. Or like I like to talk about it is in regard to chickens, right? If you have chickens, as long as chickens are producing the renewable resource of eggs, if you don't need the eggs, we buy more chickens with the eggs. And then what do we get? More eggs.
Chicken.
Yeah. And then as a result of that, we're able to, propagate and go forward. Now, if you don't need those eggs, and we can take those and we can buy, like Daniel says, I'm not suggesting this, but I'm just saying that Daniel was just talking about Bitcoin. If we're able to buy some Bitcoin, or we're able to buy XYZ stock, or whatever the case might be with that, now we've just lowered your risk, because all you're investing is the interest and dividends. You're not investing your hard-earned principal, that your nest egg from that angle.
Exactly. And that's where each investor is a little bit different. And you need to sit down, go through the educational process of how each of these things work, what each of these things risk is associated. Some people are going to pick, hey, I want to make, 2.5%, 3%, put no money at risk, 2.5%, 3%, move forward. Some people say, hey, I want a mixture. Some people say, I want to earn dividends and interest, and I want some growth potential. But that's a conversation that each person needs to have, think about, and decide for themselves what they like, what they're emotionally able to
Right.
take as far as volatility,
Right.
what they're able to take as far as their assets. Because there's two risks. There's one, risking your assets,
Yeah. Yeah.
risking your money, risking your hard-earned money, and the other is the emotional risk. Because if your assets cut in half, if your money, your hard-earned money cuts in half, and markets always come back, can you still handle it? It's still a hard spot to be, or are you going to
Right.
sell? Right. So
Yeah.
you have to manage these different risks when things start getting these crazy valuations like we're seeing right now.
Yes, yes, indeed. And either you have to, or your financial advisor has to. Whoever's doing your investing. If you do it yourself, or you're using a financial advisor. If you're using a financial advisor, make sure that you're using a fiduciary, somebody that has to do what's in your best interest, legally speaking. Make sure they're a fiduciary for you and not the company that they're working for. Well, I want to let you know we're going to. It's time for us to take another break. You're listening to Financial Strategies with Andrew and Daniel Adjemi. Today's topic is investing with a crystal ball or by contract. We have a companion piece to go along with today's show called The Importance of Financial Defense. Ask for it by name, just Financial Defense, when you call 800-725-7616. We have operators standing by right now. We also have, for the next 5 callers, the book by our friend Michael Easom, Common Sense Income Strategies. This will be able to help you understand how to invest for income. Easy read, 130 pages. Mike does a wonderful job in clearly and concisely explaining how these things work. We get a lot of comments on this book. We've given away many times on the show, but that's yours for the next 5 callers at 800-725-7616. And we'll be right back after this.